I'm getting ready.
Okay, good. Hey everyone, and welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast. We are a podcast about video games. My name is Richie. We are coming to you from a swelteringly, disgustingly hot summer's day, just to ruin the continuity of whatever level that you are listening to this on. And I can't deny it. There has been drinks, but my name is Richie. With me, as always, is AKA Farley Cunsy11.
He's AKA. Oh, jeez.
Okay, do me a favor. Yeah, do me a favor.
Are you sure you're okay to the podcast? Yeah, we're fine.
Absolutely fine. Listen, AKA, can you tell us where we can be found on the internet?
Sure, you can find such high quality produced material at www.thatguys.co.uk. We're about video games. You can also find us at all the socials at That Guy's a Maniac. All one word, all lowercase.
Brilliant, good stuff. This season is the re-season, where all of our episodes are something or other. And so, for example, this episode is
Visit.
Revisit. That's a good Scottish accent for a change from you.
Revisit.
Visit. Yeah, good. So revisit. We are going to talk about the games that we revisit and why we do and don't and maybe don't want to. But before we do that, we have a section for season 5 where we have... What? What's wrong? We do.
No, that's it.
We do, and it's called Character Item Level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And this week, I am going to come up with a character item or level, and you are going to guess it in a kind of 20 questions way.
Yes.
Are you into that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, hit me.
Is it a character item or level?
It is a character.
A character. Is it a male character?
Gender is not an issue here.
It's not an issue.
Well, gender's not...
I wasn't going for an issue.
Gender is not applicable here.
Not applicable, okay. Is it ditto?
No, it's not that. So we had this conversation. We don't have Pokemon characters.
Yeah, I remember that it was on the episode that you did a Pokemon character, so...
Yeah, that was a Dunsparce.
Forgive me for checking, yeah?
Yeah. No, listen, it's fair. It's fair, I hear you.
Is it a robot?
No. That was a no.
Well, then there's nothing... There's nothing else.
I said gender is not applicable here, so don't worry about it. Don't think about gender of this character.
Yeah, but if it's not applicable, is it because it can be gender swapped, maybe?
Or maybe we just don't know the gender of this character.
We don't know. Is it Lugia?
It is not a Pokemon, I'll give you that much.
Okay. Is it from a Nintendo franchise?
No.
Is it from a Capcom franchise?
No.
Oh, God. Is it from... come on, character stuff. Is it a protagonist?
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't dwell on that too much.
Okay. Are they royal?
No.
Are they an animal?
Yes. That's a good route to go down, incidentally.
There's an animal sort of protagonist, non-Nintendo, non-Capcom. Would you say they were a beast?
Yes.
Are they fictional? As in, there is not a real version of them running around.
I'm going to say they are not. Oh no, they're not fictional.
They're factual.
Yes,
Okay, or based on a factual animal.
based on a factual animal. Yeah.
Okay. Are they subadult?
You mean like
Not an adult.
not applicable?
Not applicable. Ageless, genderless animal.
Well, the animal is definitely can have genders. However, the character that we're talking about, we do not know the gender of.
Okay. Do they have green hair?
No.
Hmm.
That's like I like your thought. I like your thought. But no.
Are they invertebrates?
No.
No.
Again, you would be able to discern whether these were male or female in the real world. In the game, you don't need to worry about the gender. It is never, ever talked about.
It's never talked about.
And please don't dwell on this. I'm literally just trying to push you away from this thought.
Is it... It's not Nintendo, you said. Is it Squeenix?
No. And again, I'm going to give you a little bit of help here. Do not try to focus on where this, the root origin of this comes from.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Is it a pigeon?
No. Literally, I think you could go down the...
Is it a dragon?
No, it's not fictional.
It's not fictional.
It is not fictional, yeah.
Is it a horse?
No.
Is it a raccoon?
No.
Is it an ape from Ape Escape?
No. real shot in the dark there. Take it.
Is it from a platforming game?
No.
Is it from a puzzle game?
No.
Is it from a shooter?
No.
Is it from a schluter?
No.
Is it from a Mamorpaga?
No.
Is it from a character action game?
You could probably define it as that, but no. I think that would ruin it that would throw you off the trail.
Okay, fair enough. Is it from a Rupaga?
No.
Is it from a Rutus?
No.
I'm glad you're following the stupid pronunciation.
Yeah.
Is it from a sports game?
No.
Is it from a racing game?
I'm gonna take a quick pause. I think the genre,
Yeah.
the game is almost self-defining in its genre.
Oh, is it a rabbit?
No.
Fuck. Is it a hedgehog?
No. Maybe, why don't you ask questions from your biological background to try and limit this down to something that is...
I'm worried. Okay, is it a Eulappa
words that I know?
Exactly. Is it a mammal?
Listen, we're going to stop the game now. Define a Eulappa to me.
No, I'll go easy route. Is it a mammal?
No.
Is it a fish?
No.
Is it a reptile?
Yes.
Okay. It's a reptile. Is it Gex?
No.
Is it Testudine, i.e. tortoise or turtle?
No.
Is it a crocodilomorph?
No.
Is it a snake?
Yes.
A snake? A snake? Sort of protagonist character?
Okay.
A snake? Snake! Is it Solid Snake?
It's not a solid snake. That would
Is it Liquid Snake? Is it Solid Snake?
No.
Is it any of the snakes?
It is the snake.
Is it the snake from Snake?
Yes, it is the snake from Snake. Well done, Farley. Well done. I thought that was going to be easier.
Really? Okay.
Well,
Let's just look forward to next week, shall we?
Wow.
Let's just look forward to next week.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. The snake from Snake is...
I'll give you the banana from Donkey Kong. You got the snake from Snake.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to choose something that everybody knew. I was actually very sad at the point where you got Snake and you were like, "Is it Metal Snake?" And like, no, you're there, you're fucking there. But also, like, do you understand where I was coming from with the whole gender doesn't matter? We don't know the gender of the snake from Snake.
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
I'm not allowed to tell you.
Right, okay. That's fine. All good. Right, let's move.
Protagonist, kind of.
I mean, how do you define that genre of game as well? I had to stop you. Is it a puzzle game?
It's a mobile game, I guess.
Well, nah. I mean, Snake existed long before it was on like the. Yeah, sure, okay.
It's a mobile game.
I'm sorry that the character I chose has made you so grumpy.
Just every time you choose an awful thing.
Oh man.
I try and be really nice and accommodating. You choose horrible things.
To be fair, last time we spent 20 minutes of me trying to work out what the banana from Donkey Kong was. Perhaps
Yeah.
our game needs better rules.
No. Of all the issues, that's not one.
The only issue here is, Richie, you need to be less shit. Is that it?
It's not a new issue, is it? I mean, if anyone's to blame, it's for me for expecting different.
If anyone's to blame, it's me and my expectations.
It's too high. Still too high. Too high. It's fair enough. You're playing within the remit of the game. There's a character. There's a game.
I was going for a well-known character as well. Something, yeah, but it's tough. Like,
maybe next time, buddy. Eh?
Yeah, I'll do like, I don't know, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Pac-Man from Pac-Man. Actually, Pac-Man would be really hard, I think.
To be fair, like, my first thought was Pac-Man, and I thought, you know what, it's just going to get muddled because you're going to mention Smash Brothers, and I'm like, oh god. So I decided against it. I thought, Snake, everybody knows Snake. And yeah, but yeah, it wasn't a good
I think that's true, you know. Everybody of a certain generation knows Snake.
And you are of that generation.
That's true.
Yeah. And finding, like, gaming middle grounds for us as well. Like, I'm not going to choose fucking the King of Stormwind from World of Warcraft or whatever, you know? Because you'd just be angry. You wouldn't know who it was.
The third boss from Hyper Neptunia Pantsu Drive 8.
I couldn't even tell you a single boss name from Hyper Neptunia.
Pantsu Drive 8.
Yeah, Pantsu Drive 8. Pantsu Drive?
Pantsu Drive.
Like, that's a pretty solid name for one of the
I know.
sequels. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Shall we get on with our actual episode?
Yep.
So, the concept for this episode is games that we would like to revisit, games that we don't want to revisit, games that we do want to revisit, and games that we might have revisited and have disappointed us greatly. Which is really inclusive for everyone else out there, just to know some of the games that we play not only once but many times. So shall we start with perhaps the ones that we have revisited the most?
Yeah. Yes, this question came up on a previous season of the podcast. What game do you think you have replayed? Replayed?
Replay. Oh, brilliant! We could do another episode exactly the same, but it's called Replay.
Well, yeah, I've got a list of 8 games, so we're obviously going to have to do a 3-parter. Yeah, that you replayed the most. Not necessarily from start to finish, but you know.
See, I can't remember us talking about this before, and it's probably going to be exactly the same answer. I know what game I have played the most and repeatedly played, and that's Ocarina of Time.
Oh, really? More than Resident Evil 2?
Now, that's a tough one, actually.
You sounded so assured in your first answer. Oh,
No.
a challenger has appeared.
Yeah, no, because like Ocarina of Time, I think is a much shorter game, and
What?
than Resident. Well, because Resident Evil 2, and I suppose it really does. Where do you define the line of where the end of the game is? But Resident Evil 2 is 2 discs, A and B scenarios, and also like the extra scenarios of Hunk and Tofu. Does each one of those count as a replay?
No, I'd say like doing a run through to credits, either doing Leon A or Claire A or Leon B or Claire B.
Okay, because like the first time I played it, going through A, Leon A, Claire A, Leon B, Claire B, and then like Hunk and Tofu, I would say that's probably me playing it once, and then afterwards, yeah, maybe replays of the game. Because I played
back in the day, you could do it. You know, I could do it fairly confidently in less than 3 hours.
Yeah, and of course there was the Resident Evil 1 where you had to do it in like less than an hour and a half, or was it less than an hour?
That's insane, yeah.
To get the rocket launcher. I remember having the rocket launcher. And
That's where you raunch.
Yeah,
Raunch your lockets.
Yeah. When you've got like a cough, just to get that tickle out your throat.
Gotta raunch it, man.
Yeah, you get all raunchy with the lockets. No, don't go down that path. Don't go down that path.
Pervert. You're always at least 4 seconds away from thinking about molesting cough sweets.
You have to, you get a restraining order. You got to be 4 seconds away from any kind of cough, sweet related joke. That doesn't work in any fashion, right? Resident. Yeah, I know you did well with that, and I should have just left it.
I feel like this is the Bully Richie episode. This is the Bully Richie episode. All the others, no bullying at all.
Yeah, there's never any bullying of Richie.
First time.
First
and last time.
Right. Anyway, so I find that a little bit harder to define. So I think, yes, I probably picked up and played Resident Evil probably more times, you're right, than I have played Ocarina of Time. However,
how long did it take you to get through Ocarina of Time?
Probably 20 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
and how many times do you reckon you've replayed it?
Well, that's the thing, I was counting it. So I had it on the N64.
Yeah.
and I played that through several times. I know because I had save files for it. So I've played that through, but then it also came out in the GameCube, and you also had the Master Edition of it on the GameCube as well.
And the GameCube.
It was with Wind Waker. They had this special edition on the GameCube of Ocarina of Time.
Completely forgotten about that.
But it was great, and I replayed it, and they had the Master version, which basically was a remix of the game.
Yeah.
I've also played it on the PC more than once. Emulated, and then there was the emulated but enhanced, where they had like, I think I've talked about this several times.
You have.
Yeah, where it's all HD and it was really cool.
Did you play it on the 3DS?
I played it on the 3DS, and I've also played it on the Switch.
Nice.
So that made me think, you know what? I have played this game an awful lot, but you have kind of shattered my thoughts on what defines a replay. Because Resident Evil 2, I've probably picked up and played through more times than I have Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I used to just sit down and do it like twice a weekend at one point.
Yeah, just, run through.
In fact, there were whole house parties where I sat and played through Resident Evil 2 and still had time before and after for partying.
For actual socializing with human beings. Yeah. Crazy. But yeah, I actually have a few other games that I have on a list that I have been revisiting or revisited an awful lot. So, and this is probably one that you've revisited quite a few times, and it's a brutal one to revisit. The original Final Fantasy VII. I'm guessing you played through that more than once when it was on the PS1.
No. I think I played it through once. I don't think I've ever finished it again. I've started it, well, I don't know, a dozen times.
Yeah.
Which I guess is revisiting, right?
Yeah. See, that's the other definition of like, yeah. So in Final Fantasy VII, and I think this is a story I've told before on the podcast, I played through it actually following the Prima guide that came with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I fucked up at the end, because I always do this. You know this. You've got this final save point that you can have, and depending on where you put it in the final zone can define whether or not you can actually get a materia. So if you put the save file outside of the crater, which you can do, you'll never be able to go through and pick up Knights of the Round and then go back out and actually level up Knights of the Round. So I was in the final crater, Final Fantasy VII, having done a good percentage of it, defeat Sephiroth, and then realised that I needed to play through the entire game again in order to go through and fight Ruby and Emerald Weapon.
Also, you could always get out.
No, there's a certain point where you put the save point. I can't remember exactly where it was, but I'd messed it up. I put it outside of or inside of the crater.
I don't remember at all. Because I remember doing a final save and then going all the way through and then finishing it, and then loading it up and be like, oh fuck, I can't. That's it. I have to restart the whole game. But actually, there's just a slightly cunningly hidden way up the crater.
You can get out of the crater?
Yeah.
I this is probably knowledge I do not need to know right now.
Dig out your old memory card. You could still.
Don't say this.
You've played through like 120 hours again.
To be honest, I've played through it again already as well on the PC, so it doesn't matter. But yeah,
I think you can always get out.
No, there's a point in the crater where you can't get out.
Yeah, but you can't. But the Knights of the Round is on the other side of that, on the safe side of that.
Then it might not be Knights of the Round. It might be another materia. One that you need, like a copycat or something like that.
That can't be.
There is definitely a materia that you can only get in the final crater, and there's a point where you just can't get out.
I don't remember there being a save point you can put down.
Yeah, you get the save point item, you place it down yourself. I'm now doubting everything because you're saying this.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. There's none of that. I definitely remember thinking, oh shit, once I'm down in the northern cave, I can't get out because the game makes a big hoo-ha about, whoa, once you go here. But actually, you can't get out.
But, yeah, no, you can definitely place a save point. But I think there's a point. Right, fuck it. Let's not dwell on this. Basically, I definitely played through the game twice. Because I remember not bothering with the chocobos. Oh no, I had to do the chocobos twice. No, it wasn't. It was something else I didn't do. Oh, the first time round I didn't do the whole. No, I did because that was the Phoenix. God damn it. There was something optional. Anyway, listen. Final Fantasy VII has been played a lot, and clearly it hasn't made that big an impact on me because I don't even remember how it works.
Maybe we should start again.
Yeah, just play through again.
Just casually play through it again.
Casually. I mean, that's the thing we'll get to later. It's just like, I cannot. Like, there are certain games I just cannot. Like, thinking about it, no, there's no way I could do it. But what are some other games on your list that perhaps you revisit a lot? Maybe something that's also on my list?
So there's one, a recent game that I can remember where I bought it on more than one platform and played it through from beginning to end, which is it's quite a big game as well. And that is Starlink Battle for Atlas.
Oh, yeah. The one with all the models that you can...
Yeah, the Toys to Life. And the Toys to Life stuff was okay, cool. It didn't really add a huge amount to it, to be honest. I really like that game. The way that the ships feel, the transition between skirting across the surface of a planet and then kind of going up into space. So yes, I played it through on the Wii U.
I'm gonna say Wii U because of the whole connectability of the amiibos.
Wii U?
I don't think it was Wii.
You had to have something went over the controller.
Yeah.
It was definitely on a Nintendo platform because they had all the Star Fox crossover stuff.
Okay.
And then bought the game again on the controller adapter for the PlayStation 3, I think. And that's the last time it's the last time I can think of where I've done that, and it's not been, buying a re-release. It's actually just buying the game again on a different platform. And Resident Evil 2, obviously a lot. And I think back in the day, replaying the first Tomb Raider, I think we did over and over again. When it came out.
See, yeah, I suppose that's another good point. It's like and again, we've talked about this, like when we were younger, the cost of games and getting a game, we probably spent a lot of time replaying some of those shitter games that we probably just wouldn't give a second thought at nowadays.
Yeah, there are some games which just came out at the wrong time. So when I was looking through my big list of games, I was like, oh yeah, it's like a Wii game which I was really keen on and still haven't touched because I bought it, never got round to it. Other platforms came out. I still intend to go back to it, but yeah. Whereas back in the day, you'd play the game you had today. Over and over again.
Yeah, no, like I remember, like even the shitty Wayne's World game, playing that over and over and over, and like making the smallest of progress, just because we didn't have like save points, or ways to get to certain things. So you would start the game from scratch and go over. And I suppose actually things like Super Mario World, which is actually on my list of revisited games, that was played a lot over and over. Mario 3 on the NES, and we'd play over and over again, but you would learn where the warp whistles were.
Yeah.
Which was essentially a kind of save system. I've gone pretty existential there. That's so true though. You just learn how to get to the final boss as quickly as possible, but you'll have had to have played the game to find these things. Yeah, that's quite cool. That's a quite cool way of thinking about it. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, like these older games, I suppose, playing them over and over. Like Mario Kart. I suppose that's another weird definition of replaying a game. Is it replaying when you just get your mates round to play Mario Kart?
I think it is replaying when you wipe the save data to replay all the Grand Prix.
But no, like going and playing battle mode or doing a Grand Prix just because you want to do a Grand Prix rather than deleting save files.
Yeah, is that revisiting? I don't know. I'd say that was just...
That's replaying. That's a different podcast. Different replay. Different podcast. Yeah, no, that's a good point because like once you've got to a certain point where you'd maybe like unlocked multiplayer or something like that, coming back and playing it, like GoldenEye, a replay would be having to start from scratch and doing all of the 007 hard modes and stuff like that. Whereas playing GoldenEye with your mates and doing the Golden Man with Golden Gun or Big Head mode or whatever, it's that's just playing it as opposed to revisiting it, I suppose.
Well, even GoldenEye's a good example because they had all those secrets, right, and unlocks. So would when you played those, would that be revisiting it when you're still earning those for the first time?
I suppose, yeah. Again, that sets the line of, is the game done when you have got all the secrets in it, golded everything, and then you wipe it and start again, or is it when you want to go back and play it and find all of those secrets, or find all of the Riddler trophies, or whatever it is? Yeah, I kind of feel like that's replaying rather than revisiting.
I think revisiting has to have a gap in time. This is a break.
Yeah.
But then I don't think it can be just picking up your old save file.
So playing it on another system would definitely be revisiting.
Yeah.
Assuming you couldn't. God, we're defining our own fucking podcast here, man. Okay.
Are there any games that you want to revisit but haven't?
Tons.
I thought this was the most interesting question because there are a lot that I look at, caress on the physical and digital shelves and think, someday I'd like to go back.
There's plenty. But my throat is parched. I think we should head to the pub.
Oh fuck! Really? Okay. It's not. No, that's not how it works, dude. It's intimate.
It's intermission. We're in the middle of some kind of theatre play version of ourselves. We're at an intermission. We're having a quick break. Farley, let's go. Okay, bye-bye.
Go and get some ice cream.
Yeah.
And then now it's different characters. It's not us. We can't be going to the pub in the intermission of our own show, right?
Okay, maybe we're just going backstage into a dark room wearing white shirts.
Fine.
Okay?
Yes.
Does that work headcanon-wise for you?
I'm sure we'll get there by episode 20.
When it doesn't matter anymore. Okay.
So, hey there, Richie.
Yo.
So the other day, I lived in Clarksville.
Clarksville. So whereabouts is Clarksville?
It's in the American countryside.
Okay. Cool. Why were you living there?
It's just where I lived. Anyway, I had this really good friend called Daisy.
Daisy. Okay.
Yeah.
What does Daisy do?
I sort of had a crush on them.
Oh, right. Okay.
But then, one day, as I was hanging out in my hometown of Clarksville, I saw Daisy get taken away by some bad men.
Bad men? What do these bad men look like?
They were looking shifty as fuck, and they drove away in a car.
Oh, okay.
And then I thought, I must save Daisy, so I followed them from the small town of Clarksville, where I lived, to a mountain village, a mountain resort called Lake Minnewawa.
Lake Minnewawa.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, after doing a series of tasks there, I found out that Daisy wasn't there. She'd been moved to Boom City.
Boom City.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like the princess wasn't in that castle?
Kind of, but a bit more exploration and narrative.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, also, I was being continually harassed by a character called Killer.
Killer. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that says a lot. You don't name your kid Killer and they turn out to be, a flower arranger.
Yeah, you're not having a sidekick, a friendly sidekick called Killer.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I went to Boom City, I discovered through my investigations that Miss Peaches, who was head of a cat food company, was arranging for animals of a certain kind to be caught and smuggled into a factory where they'd be turned into cat food.
I'm disliking that there's a Miss Peaches and a Daisy, but that's a side note. But let's go on.
I thought, I'll pick this game because I've played it, and then reading it, it's like, this is really... Anyway. So ultimately, I made it to the place, and I rescued everybody, including Daisy, and I bribed Killer with some bones.
Okay.
And then I managed to prevent Daisy from being killed and turned into cat food.
Okay, well, I mean, that's good stuff.
And then... Don't remember this bit. And then Miss Peaches turned up with a shotgun.
Okay.
And then I farted. And I sent her falling into the conveyor belt, killing her and turning into cat food.
So you saved Daisy from... Oh, no, Miss Peaches.
No, Miss Peaches was the evil person.
Oh, okay, cool.
Turning people into cat food.
So you
Or
turned her
organisms.
into cat food. Yeah.
By doing a fart, apparently.
Okay.
Anyway, so then after that was resolved, and I travelled from Clarksville to Lake Minnewawa and to Boom City to save Daisy, and I'd saved her. It was only at that point
What did you do?
brought your fucking dog.
Hey!
Bizarre game. So this is A Dog's Life, which I did play.
I was googling as you spoke.
Yeah.
I know of it. I've never played it.
Well, I remember you playing it. We kind of ironically put it on, and then we ended up having quite a bit of fun because not only could you, I think there was like a fart button,
Brilliant.
but
That's
then
like,
also you could like do a turd and then pick it up in your mouth and like fling it around.
oh my god.
Yeah.
This
Right.
was PS1. Yeah.
PS2.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a special game.
I'm pretty sure we didn't get all the way to the end to see.
When you say we, I've never played this.
Oh, the Royal Way.
Yeah.
The friend who had it, yeah.
Real
Don't
friend.
remember.
Yeah, real friend. Yeah.
True friend. Don't remember getting the bit where Jake, the dog, farts and kills Miss Peaches and turns her into cat food. That seems a bit dark. That whole bit seems a bit dark to what is essentially
Do you know what?
a game where you run around.
It feels very PS2 gamey. You know, they would have this sort of edgelordy stuff in every game. So, you know what? Like, I get it. Yeah. And sort of that, like, British humour, like Oddworld had the fucking farting as well. Yeah.
Here we go. The player must also keep Jake healthy by feeding him. This is before San Andreas. Actually, it's probably after San Andreas. Allowing him to defecate and coax people into giving him snacks by growling and barking or performing tricks.
Jake can interact with many characters, including chasing, shaking, and throwing chickens, stealing sausages, and shaking kittens.
Oh.
Shaking kittens.
Oh. It's got shades of Watership Down, you know?
It does, yeah.
Fucking. That'd be a great game. Somebody should make the Watership Down game. You know, indie horror game.
I mean, yeah, that's a very, very good. I'm sure it's copyrighted, but yeah.
There's a dog loose in the woods. It must be public domain by now. Look.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, what are the rules around that? Like,
Yeah, in the UK.
like if it's public domain, yet you're going to make money off of it. I don't think you're allowed to make money off public domain.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as it's public domain.
Yeah. As long as you acknowledge the other people involved, yeah. Who knows? Listen, why we're talking copyright, let's go back to talking about games that we have revisited. And you asked that intriguing question of games.
What games would you like to revisit but haven't? I thought this was the most interesting subset of games to think about in this regard.
So there's a few games that I have thought about and I've actually installed thinking, you know what, I had a great time playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go back and replay it.
Yeah.
The large majority of them are
Not the small majority.
are RPGs.
Uh-huh.
And I think I'm almost always put off by the just sheer time investment
Yeah.
that's going to be involved. So
Yeah.
I have been, because I had my issues with Final Fantasy VII Remastered.
Clearly.
Yeah. I was thinking of going back to Final Fantasy X. Because I really, really liked Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
I played it on the 360. I think I 100%ed it on it. But I've got it on the PC, and I thought, you know what, it'd be nice. And then it just dawns on me, you know, there's because obviously it's on the PC. There's like, right, okay, I best download this 40 gigabyte HD remake of it. That'll be good, you know, just to justify playing it again.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, there is famously the 20-hour tutorial for Final Fantasy X, which I couldn't stomach, you know. That being said, I've probably poured 20 hours into another game and not thought about it. It's just the thought of getting and doing and playing that game, but also the aspiration when I want to do so is to 100% that RPG and revisit it in that sort of fashion.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's where I'm wrong. Like, I could thoroughly just enjoy a game, probably play it through.
Surely that's when you can enjoy it, right? You've done the 100%. You don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to dodge the lightning bolts. You don't need to max out Knights of the Round.
But I think my mentality is I'm not going to play it again on the Xbox 360, but I'll have the PC save file forever. You know? So it's kind of like I should just redo everything. I think my mentality doesn't allow me to just enjoy it without having to do a full replay.
Mad. I think my with RPGs in particular, it's not so much having to do everything or being aware that you're missing out on something, even if it is just like, you know, there's an early game high potion that you can never get again if you miss it. And even though you can, by the end of the game, buy or probably have 999 high potions.
Yeah, no, I know.
To me,
it's exactly the same in Final Fantasy VII, where you can go to the graveyard and steal like a life-stealing potion thing from the ghosts.
Yeah.
And I will spend roughly 30 hours maxing those out and never using them.
Never use them, yeah? It's just not so much that, it is the... when you're playing it, remembering the different beats, right? It's like for every Golden Source is great. You've got that train graveyard section, right? Which is kind of trying and a bit boring. For every, I don't know, doing the Phoenix Tower mini game, you've got sitting through that really, really long flashback sequence.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that, you know, sometimes I'm at the load game screen, and that will hit me. Is that bit? Even though in most instances it's not as painful as I remember it once you actually get there. Just in your mind, you remember, that desert sequence was... No, that desert sequence is 6 screens.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that bad.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah, nothing was really that bad.
But at the same time, with a lot of RPGs, there is the big story section where you're not actually playing the game. And I think that's what's hard. It's more like rereading a book than it is actually replaying or revisiting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's a tough one. But yeah, so Final Fantasy X is one of those ones that I want to revisit, but I doubt I will. Weirdly, and I've talked about this one before, Tales of Vesperia. Like, and weirdly, it's justifiable for me to go back and play this again, because I got the special edition, which had the extra DLC that only existed on the PS3 version. And I'm like, all right, there's a new character, and I get to keep another character, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, I know there was an awful lot of dialogue, an awful lot of plot, an awful lot of story in that. And also, I know that at endgame, and I don't know if I've explained this before, there's a currency you can use for the roguelite element of the game, which you can use to buy things for New Game Plus. I never played New Game Plus, but I know that if I was to replay Tales of Vesperia on a different system, I would want to make sure that my New Game Plus could be the best New Game Plus possible. So I would do that extra 100 hours of grinding for the currency to make the New Game Plus the best.
I don't think it could be. I don't think you should ever touch the Nier series at all.
Really?
Yeah, because those games have multiple. You have to kind of replay it many times. Sometimes you'll get effect. Sometimes it's just and then you have to replay it 9 times, and then on the 10th time, something will happen depending on a choice you made 10 games previously and whether you,
Oh my god.
I don't know, touched someone's balls or gave the dog a hat on your third playthrough. Yeah, I think it'd be Richie Poison. I think you'd go insane. You'd have like a conspiracy wall just about.
Oh, see, that's so annoying. I literally installed it the other day there.
Okay, well, maybe do one for fun.
One for
and then
fun.
see how you fucked up
Oh god.
instantly.
Yeah, so the other RPGs, like Dragon Age as well. Dragon Age was a great game. I had a lot of fun playing through that one. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed fucking about with the gameplay as well. I unlocked a thing called the Arcane Mage. No, the Arcane Warrior, I think it was. Where basically all the mages could become like special warrior plate wearing monsters. And that was cool. But could I play through it again? I probably shouldn't. What else? Fighting games. Fighting games in general are tough ones to revisit. And the only reason I say that is you get rusty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it can be fun for a certain era of fighting games where you would unlock things and then, you'd load it up from scratch and be like, oh, okay, I'll play through it again and unlock the best weapons, unlock all the characters, unlock da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. I'm mainly thinking of things like, it always saddens me, like going back to Street Fighter 2. I remember doing the whole Conservatory Kings.
Uh-huh.
Is that what we went for? Conservatory Kings? Yeah. And like spending like so long and looking at like what the other character was doing. But right now, like if I was just to do a single player run through, I would suck. I would suck so much, and I wouldn't want to play it because of that. But it's the same for every single fighting game, because you have to get to a level of knowledge of the characters where it's not easy to get to, and then you lose it so much easier as well. It just goes.
I think some of it's ingrained, and then the other aspect to it is, yes, you're getting older, so it's kind of harder to remember all these things. But back in your prime, or when you were a Conservatory King, you were playing it like every single night.
Yeah. And
for like a year.
Yeah.
It wasn't just you picked it up, which is the way we experience games these days, is pick it up, play it through once, if you're lucky. Yeah, you're playing it a lot. And you get this, but then also there's a game on my revisit list, which I don't think I can ever revisit, just because so much of the enjoyment was from having a group of people who I was regularly playing against. It's Vigilante 8.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of the car combat game. So a bunch of us picked it up on the PlayStation. We picked it up at roughly the same time. We organically settled on characters which we liked. Then we learned the secret tech, so you could pick up, on each level there were various weapons you could pick up, but then each weapon had one or two alt firing modes, which you had to pretty much work out yourself. And then as we developed all that expertise together and learned the levels, when you're playing against a bunch of people who have that same level of game knowledge and can, read what's happening on the screen, it's just so much fun. But I don't think I'm ever going to be in a situation again where I have that,
Yeah, like that is a set of skills that you're almost not like good at the game, but you're good at knowing how the other people you're playing against
I mean,
the game.
but it was also, objectively good at the game because you could screen read.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You knew where somebody was. You knew that if you drove up the wall and kind of did a 360 off the top, you could spin. We were doing insane, bits and pieces and cocky maneuvers, and just without having those people and so much time on our hands, I guess, to play through it again. I don't think I'll ever develop that. And there was a difference because it was kind of couch co-op, couch competitive, which I think is different to online.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it really, really is. Yeah.
So if they said tomorrow, hey, Vigilante whatever 10 is coming out or Vigilante 8 remake is coming out, I'd be happy, excited, but I wouldn't be tempted to revisit it. Had a good story mode as well, from what I remember.
Yeah, but it was always just a cheap knockoff of Twisted Metal.
Well, yeah, because it was the second one. I can't remember what the first one was called, and then there was a sequel. But Vigilante 8 was a good one.
It was, yeah.
A couple of other games on my revisit list. A game that often gets overlooked or not many people played was Zack and Wiki on the Wii. It was an amazing puzzle game from Capcom. Not that you ever hear of these characters ever again. And yeah, it just used the Wiimote in such novel ways. So you'd be doing a lot of the actions, be it turning or twisting, or really, really fun. But obviously, once you played it through, you kind of knew the answer to all the puzzles, so it needs a bit of time in between. So I think I'm round about that time now, where my recollection of the puzzles had worn off, and it would be like new. That was a great game. Yeah, never really spawned anything off the back of it, unfortunately.
I mean,
a couple of. Yeah,
I've heard you talk about it.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great. Just one of those. And it's often Capcom has a game like that where they just, they're a bit of a sleeper. Nobody really picks up on them. They'll be on, 1,001 best games of all time, but at the time nobody particularly seemed bothered by it.
Yeah.
Baton Kaitos was one that I'd love to revisit. I think I just came to it too late. It's like a card deck based Sega RPG on the GameCube.
What was it called?
Baton Kaitos. Or Kaitos.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Really, really enjoyed it, but again, because I think I played it late on, potentially after the GameCube's life. Sometimes you play through a game and you remember enjoying it, you just have no memory of it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I liked it. I know I definitely liked it. And I think I do want to revisit it to remember what I liked. And I've got no memory, so it would probably be like fresh.
Yeah, there's a game like that I don't remember properly, and we have discussed this. I think season 1 of the podcast. It's a PS1 game, and it was either Wild Arms or Wild 9. I can't remember which one it was, but it was basically a platformer, and you could sort of grab things with a sort of energy arm, a little bit like Rodland, and you could smash, but I think you had to sort of like grab them and you could shoot them. And I remember enjoying that game immensely, but I don't remember anything about it, how it played, if it was indeed a platformer. But yeah, just stuff like that. Another one was Outlander, which got a remake a couple of years ago as well. I remember playing that with a friend, and it was just amazing. Like, this was a new stage in PC graphics, and anyway, like I'm not going to go on about that one, but yeah, like the way you remember games can be so massively different from like actually sit down and play it. And there's actually been a few games that have, and this is a good segue, been a little bit of a disappointment to me when I've replayed them. And following suit, I think a good one to sort of jump in there would probably be Shadows of the Empire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like in my head that game has probably the best graphics that were ever on the N64. It was glorious. It wasn't polygony in any way.
There's no fog cloud.
Yeah, no fog cloud, and the controls were absolutely flawless. But that is not true. It is awful, and the controls were terrible. And again, this is a weird one because I spoke about this. Like there's a level which is like nearly 45 minutes, an hour long, with no save points. You just literally have to go through, and it is hard. And the boss character will kill you. You will have to replay that level. And yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. But what other games have you perhaps revisited and the rose tinted glasses have just sort of shattered?
Perhaps similarly to my last example, I was super excited when Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was getting a re-release on Switch.
Oh yeah.
Really, really enjoyed that on GameCube first time around. But I mean, the game is still beautiful. The soundtrack's absolutely amazing. But something really is lost by not playing it with 3 friends who have their own GBA with a GBA connector cable. And although, it's technically better than the original because there's this online capability, it's just not the same.
No.
It's not the same. Whereas when you're playing it couch co-op, every time you finished a mission, you go back to the village, you get letters from, your family, secret letters on your own GBA screen. It was really, really glorious. So it was nice to revisit, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
I've recently been, for my sins, replaying the 3DS Virtual Console versions of Pokemon Yellow, Silver, and Crystal all at the same time. And that is tough. Those are tough to revisit now. There's just, and I know that the Pokemon community online is a sick and twisted fuck.
It really is. Really,
if we were
really
to personify it, but people are insane about the things that they're, we're actually Gen blah 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 blah. But yeah, those games are just. I mean, I guess it's all old RPGs for that matter. There's no other way about it, right? The way to play it is to go get your ass kicked nearly to death, trek all the way back to town,
heal up, and then go
back out and get your ass kicked.
But
and do that again until you're like 2 levels above what you need to be.
Exactly. Like, get yourself to within an inch of dying, or less.
Yeah.
3 millimeters.
It's just uncompromising, and particularly in those older games, so certainly with Yellow, less so Silver and Crystal, you can totally fuck yourself. Like, if you spend your money out, right?
Yeah.
Very little ways of getting new money redoing the Elite Four over and again, and then you're just fucked. Okay, sorry guy, you're just fucked.
Yeah. You just give me like Zubat cave. Yeah, that very first cave. Trying to get to the gym, and it's just evil. And it's not like it is an easy thing to do because this goddamn Zubats are using Leech Life and Supersonic. Yeah. They're confusing you and healing themselves.
Yeah.
Literally, you can pull off the most efficient and best combos, but you'll still get fucked because there's the RNG factor of you being confused, and also they can just heal. There is that possibility of you just confusing yourself, never hitting, and them getting to full life again at any point.
And because those earlier games were a bit rough and ready, there are moves like Constrict, right, which is you cannot do anything for 2 to 5 turns whilst you take damage.
Yeah.
And then that can just happen over and over again. There's a an RNG effect on both damage and accuracy.
Yes.
You can't see. You can't. This drives me insane. You cannot see what any of your moves do. All you've got is a description
Oh, brilliant!
and PP, but it doesn't say. So when it's like, hey, do you want to learn this move instead of this move? There's nothing to tell you what that might be. So yeah, that's been really difficult. Particularly because we've just had, I don't know, whatever, 8 generations of quality life improvements.
Yeah.
I mean, it does add an element of difficulty, which I do appreciate. You know, genuinely, okay, I need to work at this because I can't cheese it or trying to cheese it. And then the last one, which has been a really difficult revisit, is Dino Crisis 3. So Dino Crisis 1 and 2,
okay.
very, very good. Very different games, I think. Dino Crisis 1 was more like Resident Evil, had a crafting system. Dino Crisis 2 was a bit more run and gun, so it wasn't tank controls. You could run along with dual Uzis. And then Dino Crisis 3, these are both PlayStation games. Dino Crisis 3, I believe, was an Xbox exclusive,
Oh, okay.
set in space with zombie dinosaurs. And I think I bought it and played through it at the time, and it is disappointing because it's not good. It's just not good.
I mean, that fucking formula, it should be ace.
Yeah, you'd think, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, the Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 trajectory. Oh no. Oh no. Just everything about that game is bad. And then I'd forgotten, and I thought, oh, you know, I'm familiar enough with Dino Crisis and Dino Crisis 2 in my head. Let's have another go at Dino Crisis 3. No, it's I think the setting is bad. The progression is utterly unmemorable. It's all about like different coloured zones. They use that fixed camera angle, like pre-rendered background type thing.
Yep.
Where key things will be, you know,
Off the screen, yeah.
whole ways of progression are. Oh yeah, it doesn't look like there's a corridor there, but there is a corridor there. Yeah, just across the board, a bad third game in that series. But it's so bad that I occasionally forget. I think twice I've tried it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just a case of the setting was weird or the fact that zombie dinosaurs or dinosaurs. This is mechanically a poo-poo game.
100%, and I know exactly what you mean, because like there are points where you almost want to say, nah, you were wrong, Richie. This is actually a great game, you know?
Yeah, maybe it was just people at the time were really negative on it for whatever reason, but actually it's okay. No.
Yeah, no, it's not a good game.
It's just not good.
Yeah.
And as a consequence, pretty much killed off that entire series.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is talk of Capcom doing a Dino Crisis style reboot like the Resident Evils. Is the world ready for that?
I just think it doesn't quite have that same impact factor as Resident Evil.
Yeah, I think zombies are scarier. It's a bit more. Yeah,
have to be in your mid-40s to remember Dino Crisis at its peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unless you've played the Capcom Gacha game, you're like, oh yeah, Regina's my favorite character. What game was she from? A bit like that Sakura Wars woman.
Oh yeah,
the one who has the big gun. She was my favorite in there's the Capcom versus the anime.
Yeah,
Tatsunoko.
Tatsunoko, yeah. Tatsunoko. Yeah, Tatsunoko, yeah.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
Yeah.
I love this giant cannon woman. What Capcom game is she from? Oh, it's a Japan only. Was it an RTS?
Yes, it's actually in the the Namco Cross Capcom game series, the gacha one that you call it.
Yeah.
What is it called? Project
Sakura
Cross Zone.
Wars.
Yeah, Sakura Wars. That's it.
Oh fuck, dude! It's on PlayStation 4. What? What? Hang on. What?
Sakura Wars is.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was definitely on
Oh.
PS2. It must be some remake or something.
January 2024. It's coming back.
Sakura Wars is. Are
Yeah.
you gonna revisit it?
You can't revisit something you've never visited before.
No, I remember Sakura Wars was because there's several of them as well. Was on the PS2, but it was import only from America, I think.
Yeah.
There was no UK version.
No. But I really like that character. He carries a big gun. Why is the internet so fucking useless? I'm looking at screenshots and it's really not even clear what kind of game it is. Is it a visual novel? Who knows?
Probably both. It seems to be an RTS. But I remember being an RPG. Hey, listen, this is the worst. Let's move on. Farley. It says role-playing dating sim and visual novel. That is the genres for Sakura Wars.
Great. Sold.
Okay, so you're in for the dating sim role.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Add
As long as she's got a big gun.
Add it to my... Yeah, as long as it's a tiny girl with a giant gun. That's all I really care about.
You should really play Project Cross Zone because she's also in that.
I'm not a huge gacha game fan. Anyway, any other games that you revisited and were sad to revisit?
I'm actually just going to go on to some honourable mentions here just to sort of wrap this one up. I think one of my very, very sad revisits most recently was Silent Hill The Room.
What?
Yeah, so...
That's a just add water instant classic, surely.
So, yeah, that's the thing. My memory of Silent Hill The Room was... It's just so atmospheric. It was scary. It was really just like, wow, this is amazing. Playing it, it's just like, oh wow, this is very pixely, polygony mess, and it's hard to see past that. Also, the dialogue, awful. I mean,
come on, it is Silent Hill.
Yeah, I know, but it's the Spanish lady. Trying to flirt with the guy, and it's just like this is tough, but also like controls and moving around and the screens. And it's like this game deserves a remaster, and I'm so upset that my memory of the game is so vastly different from the actual quality of the game that I was looking at.
Yeah.
And that's why it was sad. So I decided to stop because I think the memory of Silent Hill The Room is better than reality of replaying it as well. So it's a bit of a sad one. The other probably most recent one, and I didn't really want to bring remasters into this, and I haven't talked about it since probably an episode ago. Super Mario RPG.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah. I'm sorry. It has not lived up to expectations, and yeah, it's. I was really, really. In fact, it was one of my resolutions. Oh man, that's gonna be resolutions. Brilliant.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. But it's yeah, I'm not going to play that game any further. It was just sad. Really sad. I pumped money into it thinking, yeah, can't wait, finally get to play it. But I do also have some other... Is there any other sad revisits you wanted to bring up?
No, I had the games I will never revisit
Yeah.
list, which includes. I break it down into several different categories. So, for example, Pikmin, all the Pikmins,
Yeah.
Lemmings, and Mercury Meltdown Revolution are, for various reasons, so stressful to get through the first time
Yeah.
that I cannot imagine redoing it. Like with Pikmin, it's the heartbreak of seeing all your guys get all your guys get mauled by a boss in one instant. Fuck, that was unavoidable. I'm not going to replay it. Jesus. Lemmings, it's the stress of those levels where
Yeah.
you just have losses. And Mercury Meltdown Revolution, the same. It's just so skin of the teeth trying to get a glob of mercury around.
Yeah, I mean, I touched on it briefly, but yeah, like having to redo all of the levels and
Yeah.
GoldenEye, just
Yeah.
brutal. And also, I never want to play Rainbow Road ever again on Mario 60. Sorry, not Rainbow Road, Rainbow Sky, Rainbow, whatever the final level in Mario 64 is.
Rainbow Ride.
Rainbow Ride. And we talked about this before. I never want to go there again. I did it once. I just don't want to do it again. Yeah.
I had Animal Crossing, which is probably the worst game to revisit.
Yes.
Because
You
you go
never-
back, instantly 8 of your villagers will move out if it's been a huge amount of time. Everything will be covered in weeds. Horrible. The
Yeah.
characters literally guilt trip you into, why haven't you been here?
Yeah.
Everyone died.
Yeah, probably Rossetti will start off like, been ages since you've been here.
Yeah,
Are you sure you didn't reset it? Or have you set the timer wrong or something stupid like that?
yeah. And when they have like the automated dialogue, it'll be like, it's been 1,264 days since you logged in.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Any of the Donkey Kong countries, I'm happy to play through them once, but never again, for the similar reasons as Pikmin and Lemmings. There are some levels where it's like, thanks, Jesus, I got through that. I never want to play it again. It's
Yeah.
infuriating.
Yeah. Yeah.
One for a slightly different reason, and that's the last story. I think it was so perfect first time around. Everything about that game was so perfect the first time around. I don't think I need to ever revisit it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Or I'll inevitably, it will be tainted by trying to revisit it years after when it, the platform was current, the controls were current. So I'm happy to never revisit that.
So I have another similar one, and weirdly very similar name. Is The Last Remnant.
Oh yeah.
So we again another one that I've talked about before in this podcast. I played through that on the 360, but I followed a guide meticulously because you need to follow a guide meticulously, otherwise you will never see the final boss character. And I shit you not, you can have a dialogue event and choose the wrong thing, and that is it. You will never see the final boss character, because like you weren't able to get this person to max happiness.
But then on this point in particular, which has come up the second time this episode, when will gamers be content? Because if you give us, a flowchart which is a fake flowchart, right? If somebody says, "Hey, do you like red or balloons?" and whatever you pick, they say, "Yes, red balloons are great." Oh, this is bullshit. None of the choices make any difference. This is rubbish. This is a fake. And then when games do dish out like, "Oh yeah, this is an important decision you have to make," we're like, "Well, I can't play it in case I make the wrong decision."
Yeah.
How do you placate everybody without a great big, I'll hit the button to go back to the last choice and choose something different mode, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, did it in the Dragon Age games. They were terrible for it, and that's yet another good reason to not play them again. It's like you have to know, and you have to make sure and keep all of your characters happy, because you've got all of those sort of happiness options, and you got to give them gifts and shit like that. That's brutal. But yeah, with The Last Remnant specifically, because to get through the game on the original mode, or just the original sort of like difficulties, like 120 hours, and then there's another 120 hours of gathering the party and getting yourself ready for the hardest difficulty end boss, which is only available if you do X. And it's rather annoying because in the PC version, there's actually different and other characters that you can recruit. So it's almost justifiable to go back and play through it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I had great fun playing it. But do I want to do that again? Can I play that game just for what it is? I don't think so. I would have to do it to max it out. I don't know. It's an odd situation to be in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I suppose it's the same thing. Is there anything else from your list of games that you'll never revisit?
Yes, the last one for me is I will never play an ice hockey game again. Just because
okay.
Ice hockey, just because me and my brother in, I think, 2004, we played an entire season of NHL 2001 with like maximum game length, maximum number of games. It was great. It was, we took that team from nothing all the way through to the finals, Stanley Cup, etc. But it was, every evening of our lives for several months, and I think even though hockey games have come on in the last 23 years,
yeah,
I'm done. Did my ice hockey game. I had a great time. I need never touch another one again.
But yeah, I think that's a fair reason, because I think the gameplay can only vary so much. Yeah.
And 2001 was when they introduced they would read out some of the names.
Yeah.
Which was mind blowing at the time. Mind blowing.
I agree with you totally. Like games speaking was definitely the biggest novelty for me in the sort of mid-90s.
Yeah, so we had, obviously we had like players be named after Michael Jackson, and it'd be like, Michael passes to Barry. Be Barry Burton, obviously.
Yeah.
But they'd have the names on the back of their shirts as well. Yeah, peak ice hockey, NHL 2001, PlayStation 2.
Brilliant. I have the GTA games.
Yeah, that was rattling around on my list. Can you imagine getting to the end of GTA 5, 100%ing everything, be like, do you know what? Straight back in again.
All of those pigeons.
Straight back in again.
Yeah.
From credits to from 100% screen to opening titles. Boom.
The one I get nostalgic for is Vice City, actually. Just because, the whole setting in the 80s and the soundtrack and stuff like that.
I think if you were to, apart from the original Grand Theft Autos, those early PlayStation 2 ones, because they generally had less kind of going on. So are replayable. I think certainly 3.
I mean, I don't know, like,
Are we just talking you into replaying GTA Vice City?
No, like, because GTA controls pre GTA 5 are not good. Like aiming and switching weapons.
I think
and
famously
and covering.
Yeah. Famously, until GTA 6, none of those things are good.
Well, yeah, not the GTA 6 is out.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and I think having to go back through and play through those missions, and exactly what you were saying before, I don't think I got through any of those missions by skill. It was just sheer luck that I didn't get hit, or I was able to get to a med pack in time, and I just basically tanked it as much as I could and shot at people, hoping that the aim was going in the right direction. That's why I couldn't play that again.
But also, I think I revisit those first 3 PlayStation 2, the 3D GTAs.
Yeah.
I used to be struck by how simple they are, right? Because You know, they really don't feel like they did at the time. They going back. They really don't feel like, living streets. You can see the
No,
tolerances of the world.
the mechanics will be so much more visible to us.
Everything's
as well,
a bit blocky. Everything's a bit sparse.
Yeah. Like Tommy Vercetti in my head versus the actual images that you can find online of Tommy Vercetti with the sort of rectangular face head.
Tommy Vercetti is a Lego man. No, he's the what's the name? Is it Grim Fandango where you got to have the Day of the Dead people with a long rectangular head?
Yeah, or Playmobil character.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like that in my head was never like that. And so it's
it was the most hyper realistic game there was ever going to be.
The hypest. But yeah, the other ones that I shouldn't revisit but will get prangs for is any of the Bethesda series. Thinking, oh, you know what, I'll just go and revisit Skyrim, that 200 hours long RPG. Oh, I know what, I'll go back and play Fallout 3 because I just watched Fallout series. You're not gonna. You shouldn't do that. It's just too much time. Yeah. Any other honourable mentions?
No.
I have one last one. I'm currently doing a kind of revisit of a game called Vampire Survivors.
Oh yeah.
Did we talk about this before?
I think so.
Yeah. So I played it on the mobile, but it's also available on PC. And I've been playing it on the mobile, and the DLC came out, and I kind of missed the bus on a few of those things, and I decided to just start replaying it on the PC. It's really, really good. Like, I don't know if it's on Switch or something like that, but it's £3 on the PC version. If you can, just pick it up on the Switch.
There is a certain aspect of mobile games, like particularly mobile games with horrible gacha mechanics, which drive you back to play the original. Because do you know what? Rather than download a battle pass and do 80 hours of Grand Prix to unlock Birdo in a Christmas outfit, I could just go back to Mario Kart and I have all the characters and all the tracks, and I'm just going to do that.
Yeah, well, I definitely wouldn't lump Vampire Survivors in with any mobile games. It just happens to be a game that's available on mobile.
But you just said you missed out on a season.
No, I didn't miss it. I stopped playing, and then there was some DLC that came out for it. DLC, not like a season or anything like that.
Okay, I thought you were saying there was a season and you missed out.
No.
White Jacket for Gimpy that you really like, and then
no, nothing like that.
You never feel like you're playing it again.
No. Vampire Survivor, just to be very, very clear, is not a mobile game. It just happens to be available on mobile. But I think it's available for most other platforms as well. The only difference is on mobile, I think you can double the gold at the end of a run if you watch an ad, but you can also just turn that off, and it is off. It's very, very. You also pay money for it up front, so it's like $2.99 to buy the game, which is perfectly fine. It just happens to be on a mobile. That is all. It's not a mobile game in any of the forms at all that you would expect.
Sounds pretty like a mobile game.
Why?
You said it had ads.
The only thing is an ad that you can turn off. Like, you don't even need to pay for it. You can just turn it off to double the gold at the end of the run. It means nothing to the actual
double
game.
The gold. Okay, fine.
Yeah, trust me. I am not talking. I'm not been brainwashed or anything like that. Vampire Survivors is a PC game or a console game first before it is a mobile game. It just happened to come out on mobile as a premium paid for game as opposed to not
watch
free.
The ads to double your goal.
You don't have to, and you never ever do. You go in, you go to options, turn off ads and that's it.
For half gold.
Yeah. But you're like that's seriously. I shouldn't even mention it because it doesn't mean a thing. But yeah, Vampire Survivors playing through again on PC, and that like the game loop for that is something like it's half an hour of playing it, but it's so satisfying. It's really, really, really satisfying as a game. Just pure dopamine. Just getting all of the power ups and plowing through enemies. Well worth a go. Don't play it on mobile. Play it on Switch or something like that.
Isn't it just a bullet hell game?
It's a reverse bullet hell game. So you're the one that's firing all of the bullets. You just have an influx of well, it's hard to explain. You're not. It's a good game. And it's also co-op as well. But it's you gain weapons, and as you level up, there's an RNG as to what weapons you can get and how you level them up. You can also like fuse the weapons, and there's certain effects that you can have on your characters. The characters come with different effects. It's a roguelike bullet hell. But also, like, you don't really need to treat it like a bullet hell. You can make your own challenges within it. Like, you can stand still for as long as you want, or try and stand still for as long as possible, but use sort of reflective weapons and things. That there's a lot of nuance to that game. If you believe me, and you're like, nah.
No, I think it's just like any. What do you call them? Wave-based.
Yeah.
Action roguelike.
Yeah.
Many of which are good.
And I would say this one is pretty top tier in my opinion. And it's got that whole Castlevania theme to it as well. But anyway, shall we step away from this podcast and say that guy's a maniac?
Why'd you invite me?